Good morning, guys. Jedi Master Elon here. So, yeah, my grandmother was sick and she's not out of the woods yet, but I was out of town, so appreciate your patience. Want to kind of talk about PvP today and the state of things, and Yoda. The addition of Yoda has kind of changed the game a little bit. The speed changes, the leader changes, the fixes, the bug fixes. It's all kind of modified the way the game is being played now. But are things that different? And that's kind of what I want to key on. One of my biggest concerns with the game at the beginning, see right here, this Richie T's team is still a pretty challenging team. But one of the big issues that I found early on in the game was that I felt like there were so many characters that were going to be underplayed because they weren't powerful enough, they were too niche, they just didn't really do what they needed to do. Well, has anything really changed? I mean, the speed leader, they, improved that by, making the game work the way it's supposed to work. But nothing really is different, because really speed is still the most important factor in the game. And that really affects the kind of team comps that are viable, how you're going to play the game. You got to be careful here. This is dangerous, for sure. I'm going to go ahead and kill him, though. But really, it hasn't made anybody more viable than before. You still have the same issues you had before. Some characters are really good because they're fast, and everybody who's under a certain speed is going to be pretty underwhelming. So, and why is that? What makes speed such a game changer like it is? And the reason is because the faster characters can actually do so much before somebody else goes that, everybody has something they can do. They can basically land a kill on somebody. They can kill some of the, maybe best slow characters before they ever have a chance to move. So, in that way, the game is not really improved. You still have a bunch of underwhelming characters that can't really do anything. Now, does Speed Leader ruin the game? It doesn't necessarily ruin the game, because there are always going to be these kind of wombo combos in the game. These really strong characters. Like, for instance, you look at most of what's played now. You see a lot of Rey, if they can get her. You see a lot of Dooku, you see a lot of Sidious, you see a lot of Qui-Gon Jinn. So right here, Blamcor's team doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I guess looking through those characters, he doesn't have anybody who really can step up and be a good leader. So it's just like, I'm going to run with this. This is what I got. Renegades. Palpatine with the crit. He's got Kylo Ren. He's got a fair amount of AoE. Dooku has just got a reliable, super fast stun. We needed Speed Leader to work, and we needed Yoda, because Dooku by himself, if you say wanted to play a straight Jedi team, without having Yoda's tenacity up, you wouldn't really have a chance to get your defenses up. You would be double stunned, and that ruins Qui-Gon Jinn, because he doesn't get second strike in. Most of the time it pulls in a stunned character, so it's pretty much an instant loss. But a lot of these slower characters, you think of like Ahsoka, Jedi Knight Guardian, not the only one, Asajj, Magna Guard, even though he's got more problems than just that, Darth Maul, HK-47. You know, Poe made it so a lot of these characters actually were more viable than they might have been because he was so quick, and when turn meter worked where it was phases, you basically had Poe pulling people up in front of other people, you know? Good or bad, it actually made some characters more viable because they could kind of stand behind him. So there's a problem in the game that, is somewhat fixed, mitigated by tanky characters being able to adjust turn meter and allow their team to go first. But is it a long-term solution? Really, I kind of have been racking my brain trying to figure out, how can you fix this problem? Like, because the easiest solution is just, up everybody's speed, but it doesn't really change the fact that somebody's still going to go first. And if you move all these people up, you basically reduce the effectiveness of other characters. And maybe it's because there's not a lot of versatility in their skills to begin with, and maybe it's because they don't really have a lot of health and survive all that long anyways. These fights end up either being a stomp or, a stomp. It's not, there's no extended battling here. There's no 4 rounds. There's so much damage in the game. You don't have to make a lot of strategic choices. Maybe a couple, especially early on in the beginning. But then it's pretty much, over and done with. And I don't know. Good Lord. I knew he was going to pop him. So, I don't know what necessarily the solution could be because, you throw a speed leader and you still have Jedi Knight Guardian. She's running at 113 speed. She'll die before she goes. I mean, speed should kind of be factored by their damage potential and their tankiness to survive to ever get a turn. If you think about old Ben, he's not quite as viable as he used to be, but one of the reasons why he's still in the game is because he has a death passive that makes him so you don't really want to kill him. Then he has a large amount of health, so you don't really want to go after him, so he's okay to be slow because he has a couple different things that kind of protect him from that. Well, a lot of other characters are missing something like that, especially if they're slow. I mean, Darth Maul, for instance, is not a terrible character because for all of his slowness and all this and all that and his low health, at least at the end of the day, this guy has a crap load of health. Like, you can at least say that, he does a crap load of damage. I mean, he's dangerous. You can use people like Jedi Knight Anakin and throw a bunch of squishies on your team, but they still need to be fast. So, long term, I don't know how we're really going to get around this, because it's not a good situation, honestly. What we've kind of gotten ourselves into with this is not, it's not a great setup for creating a lot of versatility in the classes. So, I'm interested to see what's going to happen next. What are they going to come up with next? Because without looking back at some of the characters, the old characters, and figuring out how to make them viable again, it makes it pretty difficult to make new characters that come out you know, pretty strong, or at least useful. It's just like clones, like, excuse me. It's just like clones. You have a new clone now, and does it really do anything for you? I mean, the clones are so niche. They are slow. They don't do an incredible amount of damage. The clone sergeant should be doing a ton of damage for his speed. You know, he should be doing at least what First Order TIE Pilot did. That would make him really affect the game, but that would make some people take a chance on waiting around to get their skills off. You know, oh, I'm going to throw him on my team because he does a lot of damage. That's how First Order TIE Pilot got in the game. He ended up being tanky at 7-star, but he lost some damage. But even at 6 stars, he had enough health to survive, at least enough to where, you know, you could throw him in there, not just behind Poe, but you could have him in it, then throw some more damage on your team, and well, they have to make a choice. Like, do they want to get hit by First Order TIE Pilot? Do they want to get hit by Leia? It was like a damage overload type strategy. The thing you guys have to remember about PvP is the meta shifts, and not in the way that you think, oh, the meta shifts with patches and the meta shifts with this and with that. No, the meta actually shifts as well when you just have new players. Like level, 30 meta is different than level 60 meta. Level 60 meta is different than level 70 meta. And so, if they do increase the level cap, it's going to shift the meta again. But the tried and true stuff that we've already seen, that stuff's not going to really go away. That stuff's kind of here to stay. This speed thing is always going to be a factor. It's always going to be an issue. And there may not be a way to fix it. So, at 60, Barriss Offee and the tankiest people you could get in the game, that was like the meta. Why? Because we didn't have enough access to enough damage. Also, as the players get more experience, get access to more characters, they find higher damage characters. So, saying what I've said, what is the most viable characters in the game now? I would say, obviously, you just have to go down the speed list and you can pick them out so easily, and it's pretty clear what makes them good. And you can say, oh, well, I'm going to be different. I'm going to try to create a team based on this and based on that. But the reality is that you will get wrecked because those teams they really aren't viable versus speed team. People are doing it because it's so good. It's really strong. You can just do so much to it. Look at Count Dooku. He's obviously the fastest in the game, behind some Jedi leadership skills, things like that. That's why he's played so often, even with his health. He has a good counter mechanic. Overall, Count Dooku is designed really well. He's not OP, in my opinion. He's pretty balanced, actually. Balanced is, when you look for balance, you can't look at things like, oh, they're strong, they're OP. No, that's the way characters should be. They should be strong. They should... All characters should have some sort of thing you should have to learn about them. You should have to learn about the lightning. You should have to learn about the AoEs with dots. You need to kind of be exposed to all this and learn, or you won't get any better. Where's he going to go for Count Dooku? I really wanted to take out their healers, but it's not happening. I mean, sorry, not their healers, but their healing immunity characters. And going for Daka didn't really do too much for me to begin with. Kill him. There's nothing wrong with speed teams. I don't mind that so much. I just think, like I said, we need to adjust some of these slower characters and give them buffs. And one easy way to kind of shake things up a little bit, which I think the game needs, is just to start giving large buffs. Like, you look at Darth Sidious, like, what they did for Darth Sidious was actually a really good move. They gave him a huge buff, and he wasn't underpowered because his leadership skill was useful. It was one of the best in the game at the time. But even still, they knew he had such a small health pool, and in order to make him more interesting and more viable, they added the 30% evade on Jedi. And maybe they saw the changes coming. Maybe they knew they were going to do Yoda and kind of bring the Jedi back into the game. But right now, see, Yoda, maybe not in defense, but Yoda kind of makes the Jedi viable again. Before, with Count Dooku and stuns and being so fast, Count Dooku could seriously shut down a Jedi team by himself. Now, Yoda doesn't let that happen anymore. Yoda actually keeps the Jedi out because of that tenacity flying off the handle, but you can only do it with Qui-Gon Jinn Yoda. Other comps, it's not really going to work the same way because Yoda's not going to have enough speed to get in front of Count Dooku like that. Do I think that should be changed? I mean, no, that's really dangerous because Jedi still aren't a great defense team. I mean, I woke up today, I was like ranked 20 or something like that. It's pretty clear people can beat it. My team, I have fully maxed out this and that, and I mean, it's as good as you're going to get as far as the Jedi go. I mean, this is pretty high up. So, but if people are able to beat it, then that's good, That's good, and it doesn't need to be really adjusted one way or another. I kind of like where it's at right now. I'd really like to see other characters get some improvements. And you can just start improving people's damage. I mean, I think when they buffed Asajj at the same time as they buffed Darth Sidious, and they didn't actually do enough for her. They could have done a lot more, and she still wouldn't be anything but decent. So, that would be future things. I've been enjoying the game a lot more with Yoda because I do enjoy the Jedi aspect of the game, and I also think, droids should be viable. They should be fun. You should be able to build a clone team, and I think that really teams should start to show their strength when you kind of collect all the characters. Like, that's the motivation. But it seems like right now it's better off to mix and match characters and kind of throw them all in together and build some kind of mixed team that has a lot of synergy, which I mean makes sense. That's always going to be there, and you're probably always going to find little stuff, but it's just like, Plo Koon, like, he has stuff specifically built into him that says, hey, you need to kind of match me with clones, because I have turn meter for just those guys. Jedi have a lot of that stuff in their leadership abilities and things like that. Say, hey, I'm kind of more with Jedi. I'll work fine in a mixed match team, but see, when you have leadership skills, that they still become like a one-size-fits-all, kind of like a Phasma. So, I burned through some crystals here not too long ago, and I got a bunch of shards, and I got so close to Ayla Secura. I need 5 more shards. I can't freaking believe it. 5 more shards to 7-star. Also got Anakin. And I'm actually looking forward to Anakin. Anakin has a really good mechanic with, a team member dying, him getting offense up, and getting 90% turn meter. He actually has a really strong mechanic, and he is the fastest character in the game, or the fastest Jedi in the game, one of them, aside from, Yoda, and he'll move really quickly. He also has healing and buff immunity, so he can be really strong, actually. So, I've got some future plans for Jedi, and, I'm always going to keep my ear to the streets as far as all the different team comps, and you have to kind of know them in order to beat them. But I think overall I'm going to continue to work on the Jedi side of things and kind of continue to master that. Should I have killed Mace Windu, I wonder? Okay. Overall, though, Yoda was just definitely a step in the right direction, and they also went out and they specifically, added content to extend the game. They really improved the UI so much. They, added a bunch of new areas and zones to play in, which is just fun. So, they're on the right track, and I'm looking forward to it. Just saying, we need to kind of be watching this whole speed development thing, because it could end up being potentially a problem. I don't, the newness, when that wears off, there's still going to be the same problem of, characters not viable. So, with that, we kind of had a long drawn talk about, the meta, how it shifts, how it changes, even from level to level, and how speed has become to be the biggest part of the game, And again, that's because a lot of the front runners with speed, they are not bad characters to begin with. Most of the fastest characters are also the best characters with the best built-in mechanics. So what does that mean for potential teams? Are there undiscovered good teams out there? Well, I can tell you one, potentially. And see, lately I haven't really wanted to talk too much about PvP, because I didn't want to tell you guys a fib. I didn't want to, until I really played through it and I watched people, because I knew people, especially on my ladder, they're going to start developing new comps based on what they see, and I wanted to take the time to get to know, what works, what doesn't, instead of just telling you, oh, this is going to be the new thing, have you guys out there grinding like crazy, and then find out, wait, Master Airline, here's a problem with this, hey, this doesn't work. That's probably the most disappointing thing that can happen, especially if you're free to play. You're working so hard on something, you find out, oh, this shit doesn't even work at all, but this guy told me this is going to be great. Well, I can say, because Speed Leader is such a big deal, I can tell you a team that's probably going to be pretty strong. And that, to me, would be actually, surprisingly, a Rebel team. There is a Rebel team comp out there that has really strong potential in the game right now. People have kind of had their eye on Hoth Rebel Scout for a while, who does pretty good damage. He's got decent health, 12k health, but most importantly, he has 143 speed. And if you kind of examine the speed in the game right now, you'll notice that actually there are a lot of, well, there are a couple of really high rebel speed characters in the game. And I'm just kind of looking at some stats here, but now that we know leadership skill works, that kind of makes a big difference in the game, because you have Akbar, who gives speed up to his teammates, so 23 speed. Hoth Rebel Scout has 143 speed, so he'd have 166. So he would potentially go before Count Dooku. Remember that Count Dooku and Darth Sidious have access to no speed. They don't have any access to any way to speed themselves up. So they're pretty much stuck where they are. And that's good. See, that works well. That's actually maybe unintentional, but that's actually a pretty solid balance. Because think about how you would want it. What you would want is, if somebody can't ever get access to something, you want them to have some of the highest range of, say, speed. You know that Sith can't get access to it. And it's like Night Sisters can, in their dark side. And Night Sisters aren't quite as fast. What you want is one character by themselves can kind of handle, their survivability, their skills. They have some internal synergy. If you have other characters reliant, then two in combination should be stronger than the one. And that's kind of how it works with the Rebels. If you get your Hoth Rebel Scout with Akbar, you could potentially have a really, really fast character. So you have a lot of nice damage coming down on them, right at the first roll. So, and that's the best thing about it, is killing somebody right off the bat. Remember, he's got deal physical damage to target with a 40% chance to stun, 100% turn meter on crit hit. Okay? So, that's pretty dang good. Remember that who else is fast on the Rebels? Leia is. Now, I know I'm down on Leia a lot, and Leia, in my opinion, she's not where she was. And in some ways, she's not quite as good as First Order TIE Pilot in the damage department anymore. But she is good at the, I'm going to survive and I'm going to do DPS. I'm going to do damage over the course of this fight while being relatively safe. She might as well have a sniper rifle. I mean, because that is the way she plays the game. So, you have Leia as well, who can get 23 speed, and that means, she'll be going even before the Hoth Rebel Scout. She has 152, so she'll be at 175 speed. And remember that it's just like Yoda. Yoda's so fast now, you'll notice after 2 or 3 rounds, with his turn meter generation off this basic attack here, he actually gets 2 turns in a row. Because he ends up getting right behind their turn, because he catches up, and then, sorry, excuse me. So he actually does get 2 turns in a row at a certain point in the round, just because he's so incredibly fast. And Leia, Hoth Rebel Scout, they're going to do some of the same things. So who else do you have out there who can kind of synergize with that? You actually have quite a fair bit, because you have Biggs, you have, and you want to focus on people who are quick, but you could also actually use Han Solo. He would have to be, his health is pretty low, but because of that little nerf to Poe, he actually does get equal speed to Poe with a actually a little bit more. He would get 144 speed with Akbar, so he'd actually be faster than Poe. His health is his main problem at 11,000, but his turn meter generation is really good. He won't get that many hits in there, but I think his damage, all that stuff, he has potential. I'm not saying he's going to be the best thing. You've got to think about this team overall, but he has potential to do a fair amount of damage. And to soak up a little bit. Do you need him? Honestly, not really, because Leia's going to go stealth mode. She's going to be pretty much invulnerable. Hoth Rebel Scout has pretty fair health, and he's going to go first. I mean, shoot, if he gets a crit hit off his first attack, he's going again. So, it looks like Rebels actually could have a really strong team developing here in the near future, if people went that whole route. But unfortunately, it is quite an investment. Akbar will take a while. Akbar is not that smart. He's actually kind of stupid. He does cast his it's a trap that takes away debuffs. I'm pretty sure it is. And he'll cast that anytime, whether he's debuffed or not. You know, that's his only real flaw. But still, his speed leader, he has fair damage. And he has a turn meter generation. He's slow enough to where it'll actually do something for your team. So you don't want somebody who generates turn meter to be the fastest character on your team, because then everybody's turn meter's full except for his. Then remember too, you have Luke Skywalker, and one of the metas, aside from speed, is damage overload. Damage overload is a huge part of the meta, especially on defense. Damage overload, that's why the Princess Leia First Order TIE Pilot thing worked, because you can't kill those characters fast enough before they lay you down. Rey, people would throw those in all together and they would stomp you. You actually have Biggs. He would be at 131 speed. He has a call and assist with a 75% chance to crit. So imagine that. You have Hoth Rebel Soldier inflicting offense down for 2 turns, 55% chance, and a call in. You want things with effects on the basic attacks. You do have Lobot. You don't want to roll that, I think. You also have Luke Skywalker. And Luke Skywalker has a lot of built-in crit hit stuff. For instance, deal physical damage to target enemy. If target scores a critical hit, gain 30% turn meter, and dot for 3 turns. So Biggs, he pulls in either Luke or Hoth Rebel Scout, and boom, you've got synergy. So it's a pretty fair chance on that as well. And remember, Akbar is reasonably slow even with his own leadership, so it just looks like overall it could be a fun team. It could be a viable team, and it'd be one of the few teams out there that's completely, say, canon or full rebel or however you'd want to refer to it. It's like an authentic team. Somebody asked about the First Order team versus Resistance team, and from what I've seen, I don't believe that the Resistance team will work, especially now that Poe has been nerfed. Because, see, if you think about it, Poe, yes, he was strong, he was OP, blah, 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 blah. I was calling it. The problem is it's knee-jerk reactions, like on Poe. Right when we start, learning how to counter it and deal with it, and it's not a problem anymore, as soon as that happens, boom, he gets nerfed, so that new players and noobs don't have to learn anything. They don't have to figure anything out. It's pretty much, if it was too hard, okay, easy button, we got it fixed. Well, problem with that is that kind of broke the Resistance team, because just like most teams, not everybody's a rock star. Biggs Darklighter's not a rock star, and Finn is definitely not a rock star. But altogether, with Poe being as good as he was, it might have made a somewhat viable team, the full Resistance. It's not going to work anymore. What will work still is a First Order team. And not 100% sure, because we had some communication about, is First Order's like Phasma buff really working for First Order? Is it doubling it? I believe it is. If it's not, then this isn't quite as strong, but going all First Order, they have the damage overload aspect, they have reasonable amount of speed, and they've got some tankiness. You think about it, you have to have a mix of that health, speed, damage in order to create a good team. First Order does have that combination. So there's something to look at right there, and say, hey, this could be actually pretty decent. You gotta be kidding me. That was just unlucky. It's getting annoying, this healing immunity. Dark side teams are just... There's no question that dark side teams right now are viable. In fact, they might be the meta, because they have that built-in speed. They have a lot of like counter healing, so healing meta is just completely out of the game right now. They're fun too. They have these kind of skills that you can kind of be smart about how you use them and come out with a win where maybe you otherwise wouldn't have. I mean, Count Dooku being smart with his stun will really help you to shut down an enemy team. Jedi, not OP, guys. Seriously, I'm a little terrified that people are going to start saying Yoda is freaking strong, because that just ain't true. I mean, that's not true at all. I mean, Yoda is right where he needs to be, and he's pretty easy to fight against and to kill. I mean, especially for Darksiders. I mean, and if they're not running Qui-Gon Jinn, you will go first, and he's an easy kill then. Count Dooku stun, and then just focus him. Boom, he's dead. He will never get a chance to do his tenacity up. AI is kind of funny too. They may one time do tenacity up, they may not. Pretty sure that the leader of Yoda does not, from what I've been told, doesn't really do anything for you. So I wouldn't be too afraid of that as far as, oh, we're never going to get a stun off. Remember, Dooku has 220% potency, so he's not exactly impotent, if you know what I mean. So, see, teams like this, even teams like this work because they have everybody in here is a solid character. IG-86 does a heck of a lot of damage. He's got a fair amount of health. I'm not going to say he's got great health, but it's not bad. Now he's got Daka and Luminara behind him, which is going to help. Sidious's leader is good. See, there you go, Daka. Yeah. That was that was exactly how this team would have wanted it to come out there. I mean, to follow up with that. Yeah, we're gonna die here. Oh my god. Get more unlucky, dude. It's not that big a percentage chance. That was just really unlucky. So, anyways, I think that they're finding some balance with, the front runners and the characters that you see really often. They just need to work on some of the lesser used characters and some of the most beloved characters. Ahsoka is beloved by a large portion of the community. People really like her. She needs to get a little bit of TLC. And, her unique is not bad. It gives her, a pretty fair amount of health, actually. But she just needs a little bit of something to get her right with the world. Yeah, this is crazy. And without Qui-Gon Jinn's attack here at the beginning, we're kind of lacking damage on this one. So I gotta say, for any of you guys worried about Galactic War, I'm telling you, when you fill out your roster and you say pay to play, I just don't, it's a matter of time. My brother-in-law, he's been playing the game, and he's like, man, I don't want to spend money. I'm like, well, dude, you get a lot of free characters from playing. You get the money, the credits, 500k a day when you can start beating this stuff. You kind of have to keep at it every day and do a little bit of it every day, or you won't ever get anywhere. So keep playing it daily and just, be patient with it. And I'm telling you, if you give it a little bit of time, you will have a deep roster and you'll be able to win. You'll be able to beat these Galactic Wars. Once you get that going, that's just going to be an easy, free shards every single day. You'll be getting like a 7-star, every 15 shards a day, 30 days. It's 180 a month. I guess if you started at 0, I guess it would still take you, 2 months? No, that's not right. That's 300. Yeah, you get a 7-star a month. Yeah. Sorry. Math fail. Math's hard. I think it just throws people on here based on their power level. Where's the Green Lightsaber Club? We have a new member of the Lightsaber Club coming in. The Green Lightsaber Club. Overall, though, it's good changes, and we just need to be conscientious. Definitely, when you're looking through the spreadsheet and you want to figure out who to play, you might just want to go up and down and look at the speed, because that is what this game is about right now. Like it or not, it is what it is. Damn. I'm not getting super lucky here, in case you guys haven't noticed. And now we're in the cantina, so we gotta cut our music off. Tell you what, I may not be getting lucky, but this bitch sure is. For real. See, Daka, sometimes she won't do a thing. But if you think about it, Daka has a solid amount of health. She got a fair speed level. She's got an incredible basic. And she's got a really annoying passive and heal. And it's just things that, do you really want to gamble on that and roll dice on the board and see if you're going to win or lose? So sometimes you have to focus her first. So she serves as like a tank character, basically. She serves as like a frontline tank. We have to find a way to generate more damage against this team. If you're not noticing, that is the problem. I mean, with Yoda, the nice thing is you have a lot of ways to change it up. But yeah, we are seriously lacking damage right now. We don't seem to need a heal yet. Better not revive, son of a bitch. Shit. Well, I just don't like to lose people. I could probably easily beat this, but I just don't see the point. I don't have to lose anybody here. I can beat this. But yeah, Galactic War has gotten pretty easy because you're at the top. You're at, 70. You aren't going to be facing a bunch of really hard-ass mofos. And they can't really offer a bigger, better challenge anymore. It is what it is. I don't know. They killed him last time, so... Okay, good. Good. This is looking better. Motherfucker. Not exactly hard to beat in PvP so much, this team, but when you don't want to lose a character in Galactic War, I guess it'll hold you up a bit. Thing is, these double call-in assists, it's just a lot of damage coming down. And we're lacking Luminara's heal. And that's not going to be up for a while. We've really got to ramp up the damage here. Okay. Alright. Yeah. So, as far as authentic teams, like I said, Jedi look like they're coming into their own. Droids are probably the ones that are having the most trouble. I feel like pretty much everybody, if you're not really sped up like the Sith and you don't have access to a speed leader, they may need Lobot. I mean, that may be sad, but it's potentially true. I mean, they may very well need Lobot to really bring them back to their former glory. Just because so many characters are now able to kind of respond quicker. Damn. Okay. Well, he's pretty much done with his stuff here. So, it wouldn't be a bad thing to switch off of him. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's gonna screw us. It's not to say the challenges haven't gotten somewhat more difficult. At the end. Wow, dude. I don't understand. Everybody dodged? Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the same thing that happened before. Huh. Yep. Yeah, from what I've seen with AI and Mace Windu so far, farming him may not have been the best decision. He's not that great. That's because his dumbass AI doesn't go for the exposed character. He should do that every time. There should be no reason why he doesn't. I told you that would be an issue, and it is. I knew that that would be a thing for him. That would be the main concern, and that's exactly what happened. So, he looks like fun though, so I'll probably still finish him. I got Kip Fisto. I'm hoping that Ayla Secura shows up in the shard shop. Old Ben did one day, so I know that it's possible. I need her to show up 3 times. That or I just need to buy a pack a day, which I can do if I make first every day. I only spend 150 anyways on re-gens and things like that to get more shards. But based on where I'm at right now, it looks like I am going to be pretty much... I'm going to have most of the characters that I wanted to have, and not too long. Yeah, I don't know how I got my double strike up there, because pretty sure that that was down. Well, that's too bad. We don't have a healer with us. And I don't know what the hell we're doing. Huh. I think he's gonna get killed too. Kind of lucky. We'll see what happens. Well. Yeah. Oh, 3 shots. They fixed that though. That's fixed. That's good. See who they're gonna kill. Oh, where are we? Aren't we like not even close yet? Yeah, we still have 2 more. Apparently he's gonna get resisted no matter who he tries to hit. And of course, old Ben's dumbass mind trick is down too. So, good fight. Now he goes first. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, shit. Fucking gay, man. Oh. Yeah, 39% tenacity. That's not low by any means. So. Please let us finish this. Oh my god, you couldn't be more. Just being out of all my stuff, man. Resisted. That's not supposed to happen. Wow. That's a pretty decent sacrifice. First order tie pilot is still worth getting. I don't know anymore. He's so unreliable in PvP, it can be really frustrating. Plus, he is slow. If you were building a first order team, he'd be still critical. And the call and assist are very nice. I wish my Dooku was a little bit more worked out. He's a little bit soft still. He is 6-star, but I've been spending a lot of energy and effort into Yoda now. Who are we fighting against? Ooh. Deadly. We can try for Han. He has less health than Count Dooku right now, but maybe he'll give us a little bit of time. hoping it was somebody other than that call-in. I was really hoping for First Order TIE Pilot. Alright. Nice. Not a lot of synergy in this team here. Doesn't mean it's not deadly, though. We got plenty of guys, though. We're gonna go for the Jedi Slam here. See if we can get out a heal, but I doubt it. How lucky. We'll see how this does. I'm not super confident in this one, but... Lols. Get us done. There's that speed at work. 2 attacks to my 1. Oh. At least we got some more purple mats. We needed those. So, Thomas, what's up? My viewer, bro. Wait, what was his team? Okay. Still dangerous. Thomas is... I've lost a couple times to you, Thomas. You're still dangerous. Still not to be trifled with. It's kind of all depends. Damn it. Weak. Oh, shit. Oh, could be bad. Yeah, we lost. That fucking sucks. Telling you. Poe just doesn't have any damage. Neither does Koth, really. Now we got a bunch of, like, counter Jedi up in here, and all we got is Jedi left. Yeah, I mean, sometimes the tenacity up works out well, but maybe for that time I should have just let the stun go off, but chances are 2 of my guys would have gotten stunned and it would have been over anyways. See, so Jedi do have their disadvantages. Alright, y'all. May the Force be with you.